I on? Okay. Hold on. I need to put on a headset. Um, Audio. Um, okay. It's getting close to my dinner time, but I just wanted to do a a quickie um on the top three reasons that it's bullish AF for TitanX assets bridging over to Pulsechain. Okay. Not that anybody cares, but I care. All right. So there's three reasons that I'm particularly bullish right now with the migration that I'm seeing. So the first is that I'm seeing builders in action, and I'll come back to that. But shout out to Rich and Smooth and Dude and Bad Sports and Alley, and I'm sure others. Um, each doing their own thing to either bridge or generate TitanX on Pulsechain momentum. So that's the first thing, builders in action, and I think you're going to see more. And it's not and Morph, right? Um, Morph is also has a bridge button on their website. So part of this is individual holders and people who are builders and influential in their assets and their protocols. When they start to get into action, people follow. And so it's really a good sign. So Rich Landon really was the first of the TitanX builders to really methodically start to build out the liquidity webs on Pulsechain, right? So shout out to Rich. Smooth has set up Flare. I don't know the pairs, but we're going to be talking about it. Dude with Janus has basically the tower game is it's a liquidity web with 28 pairings with Janus, and it's basically it's a pump cycle game. I think Dude's probably the only one that could explain the whole thing, but shout out to Dude, Smooth, Rich. I saw today that Flux, Bad Sports, and others who are Flux holders are definitely getting into the RBot game, and and so I'm really curious what those guys are doing and how Flux is going to perform, on Pulsechain and what it's going to do. Ali, he's got this Taurus game. I forgot the name of the game. And also all kinds of other, pulse chain activities. So TitanX builders, and that means big holders in action bridging over to Pulsechain is a really bullish sign. And the more that we do collective education and have fun doing it, I think the better, because pretty soon newcomers are going to be looking for what's the difference between smoke, flare, Janus, flux, Taurus, right? How do we begin to distinguish each of these different assets to newcomers. And I think that'll be up to the builders to figure that out, how we educate and onboard newcomers, right? So that's the first thing, builders in action. That's a really good sign. And I think we're going to see more of that. And once builders start to get vocal about what they're doing, because they're typically going to be the ones to set up, and I think this is what happens in TitanX. The expectation is that the builders set up the liquidity web, but what's happening over on Pulsechain is a little bit different. It's more about community chaos, right? And liquidity webs. So there's like the smoke web and the flare web, and I imagine we're going to have the flux web, right? And the Janus web, and then and the third reason is the Eros web, but I'll do Eros last. Okay, but I am bullish on the Eros web, particularly because now that I see momentum of TitanX assets bridging over, right? So that's really good. TitanX builders on the move, heading over to Pulsechain. And I think the more that we can collectively educate, the better, and begin to distinguish each of these individual assets on Pulsechain, but also the liquidity pairs and the webs and like what makes these things special, right? It's not only the deflationary assets, but maybe they're going to be some of those assets that are diamond hand holder crews. Like I know Smoke aspires to be that, just like Lotus and Eden aspire to be that. So, okay, builders in action. I think pretty soon we'll start to see those guys and gals, hopefully. I don't know if there's any gals involved, but if there are any gals, it's a shout out, please. We need women. You know, there are some great women educators on X. Like we need these voices to start educating about what makes TitanX assets, you know, special. Okay. The second is really the top reason of why I'm bullish for TitanX bridging to Pulsechain. Yes, it's great the builders are in action, but bridging to Pulsechain now is going to be the #1 DeFi narrative, I believe, in this bull cycle. I think Pulsechain, like I just saw, I think it was Crypto Connoisseur that says, bridge to Pulsechain, we're at the then they join you phase. Exactly. So Pulsechain, people have fought it, literally. People have targeted it. The communities on Pulsechain have divided and conquered each other, right? But we're at the stage now, it's going to be huge now that there's legal certainty, and now that Liberty Swap Finance is providing the multi-chain liquidity web to onboard stable coins and other assets. There's going to be huge flow of capital, and we're already starting to see it, right? The $9 billion Bitcoin sell through Galaxy Digital, that might be our guy, right? People in other, you know, places were saying, it's not our guy. But my intuition said that was our guy. There's only a few Bitcoin whales who were mining Bitcoin back then. And yeah, so I think that's our guy. And so a lot of this Bitcoin being sent through Galaxy Digital and then doing what they do, I think there's going to be a lot of stable coins coming onto Pulsechain through Liberty Swap Finance, and not just stable coins, but it's part of the huge stable coin cycle that we're in. So okay, so that's the second bullish reason, is for TitanX assets to be bridging over to Pulsechain. It gets us exposure to the Pulsechain bull run, right? Which, you know, I've been waiting for a long time. I've seen it coming ever since the legal certainty about 12 weeks ago. And then legal certainty really came on July 7th, less than a month ago. And what I was saying then is that once we have legal certainty, we're going to start to see capital flow. right? And that's what we're seeing now. I didn't know that Liberty Swap Finance was going to show up, right? But the fact that Liberty Swap Finance is being promoted on the main pulsechain.com site is a sure sign to me that Liberty Swap Finance has a boss man. Okay. Now, whoever the boss man and woman is for Liberty Swap Finance, it's great. It's the marketing arm, it's the marketing and onboarding arm, it's also the liquidity arm, and the integration of privacy features that enable privacy on and off board through ZK P2P, right? That's going to be integrated into the Liberty Swap D app if it hasn't already. I think it's coming soon. So that's the second big reason, is that we're at the stage of the cycle where Pulsechain, Hex is, starting to take off. PDI has bounced off its bottom and is the number one speculative narrative, right, in decentralized finance. And with the huge capital flow, I think people underestimate Richard Hart's capital, and not just the sacrifice funds. I'm fine if the sacrifice funds never get moved, personally. I think they will with some intention, but I suspect there's going to be personal whale funds, and people are free to do it, right? If Richard Hart is a huge Bitcoin and Ethereum, people say, oh, he's only got $1 billion from his Ethereum. I don't think those people who say that, really well schooled DeFi people, have said to me, nah, he's a Ethereum whale. I don't think they really have been following his Bitcoin mining days and the possibility that he's a huge Bitcoin whale, right? Anyway, that's speculation, neither here nor there, but I do believe that big whales are going to start moving capital into Pulsechain, including, more speculation, Binance and maybe Kraken and maybe Coinbase, right? We'll see. But it seems pretty clear. I don't know. I think we'll know tomorrow. I think in August, I don't know, I projected that we were going to have not a peg, but a process of getting PDI closer to $1. And I just think it's going to happen sometime in later August. It's going to be, I mean, it might happen really fast, but I don't think that's what's happening fast. I think what's happening fast are some announcements that are going to really expedite the whole process of capital flow. If we see Binance listing Hex or Pulse or something like that, if we see Binance actually taking some interest, which I think they already have, I believe Binance has been investing in validators since the early days. I have no idea, but I believe that. And if we see Binance and other big players starting to support and strategic alliance with Pulsechain, it's like game over in terms of like huge pump, because what's happened with Pulsechain, it's been emptied out, right? There's been capital flight, and then also with Atropa pulling capital out, and so the big whales pulled a lot of capital out. We'll see why that was. My hypothesis is not just mine, but the hypothesis that I've come to accept is that, yes, it's shaking out. It's the market makers shaking out weak hands and only believers, whatever that means, on Pulsechain. So I think that's been happening, but I also think it was a test run for crashing the system, crashing PDI, crashing the Atropa web, crashing the cores, right? So anyway, all right. So that's we're at the stage where bridge to Pulsechain now, okay? It's to get exposure to the exponential bull cycle if you want it on Pulsechain, if you believe it. If not, if you don't believe that Pulsechain is going to have an exponential run, then there's no reason to bridge. It's to get exposure and not to just keep my TitanX assets in my wallet, but to bridge my TitanX assets and pair it with strength, whether or not it's TitanX strength. So like I'm pairing my TitanX, my Lotus, my Eden, my Jake X, with Eros, with PDI, with Bear, right? Just because I want exposure to those assets. I want the exposure in the web to PDI and Bear and Atropa, just because I want it. That's me. And that's our freedom, right? Nobody's telling me what to do. No one's telling anyone else to do on Pulsechain. This is like the wild west of community LP web building. And the more that we do it collectively, the better, okay? Because then we're all in the same connected web. The routings are well routed to align with the TitanX routing ethos, and it's designed to capture the volatility and the exponential growth potential, the leverage on leverage on Pulsechain, right? So okay, so we're at the join us stage on Pulsechain. They're going to join us. Everyone's going to join us on Pulsechain, and we're going to begin to see who the real winners are on Pulsechain. And that brings me to the third reason why I'm bullish for all this TitanX bridging to Pulsechain. And this is just for the purpose of this, I'm going to call it the Eros Beast on discount. That's the Eros Beast, like Peter, who's like the thought leader for Eros, he called it a beast today or yesterday, and it's been selling down. It maybe has been selling down 50% from its local top, and that's good. There's supposedly there's one of the original developers that's selling out, right? This is a good time because now it gives other people an opportunity. If we want to buy Eros at the relative dips, it's a good time. Right. And so Peter called it the beast on discount. I call it like the badge of honor of like not selling the gift, not selling the airdrop. Right. This idea of I received a gift and I held on to it and now I'm fighting for it and with it. Right. And I think that there are going to be more and more people that receive the Eros airdrop and are going to see the value in holding it, staking it, locking it. And I think that it's a beast. It's an under acknowledged beast because of the technology first, and then the idea of it's like an index token that reflects a combination of the TitanX ecosystem and the Pulsechain, like the Atropa ecosystem in particular. So it's a beast because it's a PTGC clone, right? And it's a fee sharing protocol. And because it's got, pairings with 55 different tokens, some very thin, some getting thicker. And it's important at this stage, and this is why it's bullish that all these builders are moving TitanX over, or TitanX assets over. It's important for the health of the different liquidity webs to build some depth. It's fine to be thin liquidity, but in order for bigger players to get in and out of pools, we want to build some depth, right? And now's the time to start doing that. So with Eros, I feel like it's a beast that is it's a technological beast, and it's going to be part of the demand equation that helps to invite in Pulsechain people into the TitanX web, right? Because newcomers to Pulsechain are going to come from two different places, in my opinion, right? They're going to come, well, they're going to come from X, YouTube, and TikTok, right? And then they're going to go in, and Pulsechain is going to become, especially among young people are going to know about Pulsechain. I've been like studying young people. I've been studying my son, who's 18. I've been studying this generation between 18 and like 27, right? Those are the Zoomers or something like that. Like 18 to 28, like that. Now these aren't the ETH whales, okay? ETH whales are going to do what they do, right? And they're going to, look for where they want, like Pulsechain whales are going to do what they do, and they're going to look for what they want. But for newcomers looking for 100x, 1000x exponential growth returns, right? They're going to be looking for, how do I do this? Like, how do I get into decentralized finance? There are young people starting to ask me now, like, how do I do it? They already know that they don't want VC coins. They don't know what fair access DeFi is. Pardon the language. They don't give a shit. They don't want to get wrecked. They don't want to lose their money, right? And so if you have $500 to lose, the question is, like, where do I put it? Do I go for a safe 10x? Do I go for a safe 3x and just hold ETH? Do I just buy Bitcoin? What do I do? And so there's going to be a lot of newcomers coming in over the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months, depending on how long this bullish cycle is. But there's going to be a lot of newcomers that are looking for guidance, right? And that's where people are going to have to educate, or I'm going to have to educate about the value proposition for the projects that I care about, right? That I think have immediate 10, 50, 100, 1000x potential, and also have long-term potential. The reason why this guy Peter thinks Eros is a beast is the same reason why I think so, is because of there's a few different reasons. Partially because of the technology and the fact that it's a variation of PDGC, of the Gray's currency, and it's a fee sharing platform that is going to be very scarce and with a diamond hand top holder group. That's the intention. So, and that there's an intention also to be able to transform it at the right time from a fee token to a non-fee token. And the non-fee token allows us to do a lot of other stuff, but that's more later. That's Eros S. So it's a beast because it's undiscovered, it's community owned, there's no one in charge. The holder group is a little bit of a mystery. There's 10,000. It's very well distributed, except at the top. But if we can keep the top holders as a diamond hand holder group, then this can be a store of value over time, right? And it can also be part of the demand equation for this bull run, because it's a fee sharing protocol, it's deflationary, and it's leverage on top of leverage on top of leverage. It's like at the top of the leverage pools. And so the real question is, for Eros is, at the right time. For newcomers, the question is, who is it for? And this is going to be the same question for all the TitanX assets, for Smoke, for Flare, for Janus, for Flux, for Taurus, not Taurus, but Unity on Pulse. Unity, which is a Taurus variation on Pulsechain for Pulsex, is a different animal, right? That's like it's a potential behemoth, right? Taurus and then Unity, I think because of the design and the founder, have the potential to be, yeah, a blue chip potential. I mean, it's so early. I don't want to say anything too early, but that's what it looks like to me, just in terms of the design of Taurus and then Unity, and then also the work ethic and the smarts of cryptographics, who's the founder, builder. So anyway, so that's in a different category. But so yeah, so Eros is a beast. And I think this idea that it's a badge of honor of, I didn't sell my airdrop, I still have my Eros, right? I still have it. I personally have accumulated more. I bought the bottoms, right? I like buying blood. I like buying it when it's low. I like buying, and then if I like it, then I can educate about it, right? And that's how I feel about Eros, is I like that no one's in charge, that it's community directed. It may have some chaos attached to it in that there's no one in charge, but that's the beauty of it. And the beauty is that I could see it not only surviving, but thriving on its own in the bear cycle. And I could even see me accumulating more in the bear cycle. Why? Because I know I'm like staking it, I'm locking it, I'm making passive income right now on my Eros. I like that. On every single buy, sell, and transfer, right? And even if there's not a lot of volume, right, there's buy, sells, and transfers all throughout the liquidity web, right? And so the buy and burn, and so the burn wallet of Eros is the number 2 holder, right? That's going to keep on happening over time. And especially after this bull cycle, I think the Eros wallets, there's 10,000 TitanX airdrop wallets. I don't know how many are active. I suspect only about 100. I'm guessing. I have no idea. Somebody will write a script to see. Maybe 100, maybe 200. And maybe in the bull cycle, when Eros gets more valuable, more people will wake up to the gift that they got, and they'll either hold it and stake it and lock it, or put it in an LP, or they'll sell it, right? But if it's a valuable gift, then it may be the gift that keeps on giving. And so I see Eros transcending this bull cycle, right? That's part of the reason why I like it. It's just going to operate on its own. It's fully automated, no humans in charge. I love that. I like in Ouroboros having a human in charge. It's very rare for me to like having like a crypto entrepreneur in charge. Like, it's very hard to make me satisfied with the crypto entrepreneurs, because I don't know, it's a hard role, right? Very hard. So that's why I really like the idea of fully automated protocol with no humans in charge. The only humans in charge are the holders and the people that are in the liquidity web, right? And so it's not lock liquidity, it's soft lock, right? But that's how a community web is, right? And especially if we create a culture of holders and holding fee sharing token in LP, that's what we want. And even a culture of like dollar cost averaging out. Like, when I start, like, I'm going to keep a good percentage of my Eros in LP or staking and locking, most of it probably stake and locked. What I'll keep in it, Yeah, probably most of it there. I don't know. I need to think about it. I haven't thought about it. Anyway, all right. So Allie, what's up? Allie Kane just sent me a message. Come on Thursday night. Right on. All right, Thursday night on with Allie. Sounds good. We're gonna talk about the game. So, like, the reason why I'm interested in Allie's game, the is it Trade Brawl, is because of I don't personally, it's not that I know that a lot of people like games and I think games are huge. I'm just saying personally, I don't like to play games with money. It's just me personally. It's like I need to study it. So I told Ali he could use me as like an ignoramus to like school me on the games to see. Now I know that the entry fee is like $100, but still, that's a lot of money, right? If now, but I know that the prize pool is paid out in tourists, but I don't know. Like the reason why I don't play those games because I know a lot of people really study those games and want to win the games and the only games I want to win really are like soccer games or basketball games or stuff like that. And I don't like betting on them. I like just playing. So anyway, that's not here or there, but I'm getting FOMO. That's the point. I'm getting FOMO, fear of missing out. And I know it's like there aren't too many people involved in the game, but I am getting FOMO. And so what that means is I don't want to be emotional about it at all. Even if it's just a little bit of money, I don't want to get FOMO. I don't like that feeling. And so, but I want to get educated. So anyway, I'm going to be talking with Ali and potentially others who are playing that. I think it's called uh, trade. Anyway, I got it. Whatever. Okay, but that's bullish also because what that is, it's a game that is also introducing tourists on Pulsechain, right? Which is a good introduction because I think people know cryptographics on Pulsechain just because he's been out educating and, you know, in that community for a long time. I think people know him and respect him. And so Unity will already have what he had in TitanX, which is like the respect of the community. So I think that he'll have an advantage over there, which is great for him and for Unity and for Taurus, but I also think that having a game like to begin to expose a new community to Taurus and to Unity is a good idea. I like that idea. So anyway, I think that's all I have to say. Let's see. This is an incredible notebook. Okay, this is how I do my and I if I follow my TitanX journey. Oh my God, you know, this is like my whole journey. And because I'm dyslexic, I sort of write either in circles or backwards, and that's just how I remember things. Um, yeah. So Volt staking never happened, but Lotus and Eden are in Volt, right? So I have a whole notebook of I've got a few of these notebooks, partially because I think best when I actually write by hand. I'm old school like that. A lot of people do spreadsheets, and sometimes I do spreadsheets. I like looking at other people's spreadsheets when they can design spreadsheets. I like looking at them and then plugging in my own, you know, details and variables. But really, how I do crypto is using my wide mind and seeing trends and seeing opportunities and also seeing risk. I think I'm really good at seeing where the risks are before they happen, and seeing where some of the opportunities are maybe before they happen. So yeah, all right. Mm, peace out, y'all. Have a great evening. It's beautiful out here. It's actually, maybe I should just hold on. Since I think there are some people, maybe I need to show art. Hold on one second. I want to show you some art. If anybody's actually here. Ooh, this is perfect. Ascendant Lend, Ascend Lend. Okay, this is a shout out to the Ascendant team and the community of Ascendant holders. I mean, this piece needs work. It's got a lot of work to do. But now that Ascendant has, I need to read the white paper actually, but there's a new white paper. This is this is Sal and Lee right up there. They're 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 the Ascendant team, or the founding partners of that protocol, and it's very interesting. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. I need to study more, but I will study more. And I like that it's a lending protocol designed for smaller volatile assets, and it will be complementary to Ouroboros, right? And there was a list of assets that Ascend Lend is going to serve upon launch. And it was a really pretty extensive list of TitanX assets. And so I really like that Ascend Lend. I need to study it, but it gives another use case, another utility for these deflationary assets that need utility and need passive income and need fee sharing and need real yield, right? That's the next level of like DeFi is real yield from fees, right? Yeah. All right. Peace out, y'all. And congratulations to yeah, the Ascendant protocol. It looks really good. I glanced at the white paper. It looks really interesting. And it's built on a technology that I need to understand before I talk about it. All right, peace out, y'all. Be well.